Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Real Talk with QHT, where we talk about life, business, and anything related to the New York real estate market. I'm your host, George Herrera, with the Queens home team at Keller Williams Realty. Today, I'm joined by three special guests. I have my wife here, Abigail Herrera, and fellow team member.
Hey, hey, hey.
We have our other team member, Daniel Ackerman,
Hello, everybody.
a.k.a. Dollar Bill Dan there. And we have our listing and transaction manager, Anna Reyes, in the house.
Hello.
Anna's the shy
need,
one.
We need the crowd applause there for Anna.
Thank you.
So this is Anna's first appearance on the podcast. It's episode 11. Anna, we finally dragged her out of the office, and she's able to come over here and be a guest. So
Welcome, Anna.
Welcome,
welcome.
Anna.
Thank you.
And today we were talking about, what would be valuable for people to understand and what to talk about. And so we figured, why don't we talk about teams and how real estate teams work and operate in New York and in New York City specifically. So today we're going to talk about how real estate teams work and what you should know as a potential buyer or seller when it comes to teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, Abby, why don't you tell us what our team structure looks like? Maybe we can start by explaining how our team, the Queens home team, works, and then we'll go into the differences between individual agents and real estate teams.
All right, great. So for the Queens home team, we're an 8-member team. Okay. It started with George Herrera, my husband, and his roles as he's a listing manager, meaning he consults and works with home sellers, and he's also the marketing manager for the Queens home team. Okay. My roles and responsibility, Anna's looking at me questioning.
I'm a listing
He's a listing
specialist.
agent,
Yeah,
or a
listing
specialist.
agent. Yeah.
Oh, I said listing manager?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's
I don't
Anna's
even know why I
job.
said that. Listing agent.
I mean, you taking my job, George?
Let me backtrack. So George's responsibility is a listing agent. He's a licensed realtor, but he consults with homeowners.
And
on the
what
team.
does that mean, listing agent? That might be for us,
Oh, that's a
maybe
good
that's
point.
like common
Foreign
verbiage,
language.
but yeah, maybe for a consumer, what does
Yeah.
listing agent mean?
So that's a licensed realtor that consults and works with home sellers, homeowners.
So specifically sellers versus buyers.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
And then my role is a listing agent as well. And then my other role is the cheerleader for the team and training.
She's the CEO, the Chief Energy Officer.
Yep.
Yes. And then we have Daniel here, who's a sales agent on our team as well. He works with both sellers and home buyers.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have Anna, who plays 2 roles currently, and she's a listing manager and a transaction manager for the team, which means listing management is on the home seller side. Okay, which means that assisting with marketing, communications with homeowners on how we're doing with the property, where it's going, feedback for any viewings, organizing of appointments, and a lot of very important administrative duties to help the wheel run. And then once we actually move forward with transaction management, she is working with both home buyers and home sellers. And something that people should know is that Anna has closed over 300 transactions
Yeah.
with the Queens home team.
Yeah.
So she's very, very good at what she does. It's a very specific role. It's not meant for everyone, but she's very, very good at it.
We should just stop right there.
What?
Yeah.
Because
That-
there's
this-
something here that it's, I think, mind-blowing to a lot of people. Or at least it is to me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right? So how many, let's just think about this. How many solo agents do you think could close 300 transactions in the space of, what is it, 10
5
years?
years.
5 years?
5 years for Anna.
Like that's, in New York, that's very,
Yeah.
very difficult to do.
Yes, that
That's
is.
true.
Right? So we have one amazing person
Yes.
who's dedicated to just handling the transactional side of things,
Yeah.
right? Who's taking all of the stuff from the 7 rest of us,
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
right? So she handles it so we don't have to,
Yeah.
but then that means that you're incredibly experienced at what you do. Like I can't even imagine closing that many.
Yeah.
I think most real estate agents in New York City,
Between 4
I think
and
the
12.
I think the average is like
Yeah.
actually less than
Less
that.
than that.
Yeah.
It's
I think
about
the average
8.
is like 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
For like the average across, I mean, there's what,
Yeah.
50,000 agents,
Yeah.
you know, fighting over 20,000 listings.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the fact that this one here has
Yeah.
closed 300 is amazing.
Kudos
And
to
it al-
you,
yeah, it
Anna.
also-
Kudos.
It can explain. So the reason why people do build teams is also because every role, every stage of the transaction requires a different set of skills, right? And so typically a good salesperson, a good sales agent does not like paperwork or administrative duties. I mean, that just is kind of a given. If you're a good salesperson, typically you hate paperwork, you hate administrative duties. You know, you're not the most organized person. And so it's always good when people build teams, they bring on people who have those strengths, who are
Right.
very organized, very systematic. And that's how, when you're building a team, you're streamlining the process, right?
So essentially-
similar to an attorney's office and things like that.
So basically, Anna's a ninja because she has a special set of skills.
Yes.
So-
she's the Liam Neeson of real estate.
maybe our listeners would like to hear what it is that Anna actually does on a
Yes.
day-to-day basis. So Anna, like, what do you do? Like, what
Let's say for a buyer.
for a buyer? Like, what do you do for the buyers?
Okay.
And when do they meet you?
Once my 7 agents go into contract with the buyer, they what we call pass the baton. Shout out to Monica Reynolds. So they pass me the file, which is the buyer's name, what they've purchased, which is a co-op or a residential or whatever it is, and then I get in touch with the attorneys. I make sure I'm in communication with their lender, and in touch with the buyer, and I just basically push the file to close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm in-
resolve issues.
Yeah, I'm turn out fires.
Yeah.
So like all the paperwork stuff, all the
Yeah,
communication
if
with
it's
the
a co-op or
attorneys, the lender,
condo,
et
it's I'm
cetera.
reviewing the application with them, making sure that everything is, crossed and dotted and nothing's missing. I review it with them. If there's an agent, I make sure I review it with the agent as well.
Yeah.
If it's a house, make sure that, everything is moving along.
Appraisal getting ordered.
Yeah, appraisal, title, lien search, moving companies, referring if our clients
Oh, that's
need.
a good one.
Yeah.
Anything they need, I am their personal
And
assistant.
because
Yes.
you know the timeline and urgency of timeline throughout a transaction, this is why you say you push deals
Yes.
towards closing, because there's several parties that are involved in the transaction, especially here in New York State. And there are specific timelines that certain milestones have to get done in order to close in the time that it's supposed to close.
Yeah.
Yes. So whatever the contract says, that's what I'm going by.
Now,
You're the liaison. Sorry.
no, it's fine. I want to ask or point one thing out. Can you tell the listeners who are not maybe familiar with purchasing a co-op, for example, in New York, how long a typical co-op application may be with all the documentation that has to be submitted and attached? Give us an idea of how long one of those might be.
And can they do it on their own, or should they have someone with that experience?
I mean, the worst one I've seen was like 12 copies, over 200 pages. Which, by the way, we make copies for our clients as well.
Yeah.
So they save money there. But I mean, yes, they can do it on their own, but something's always missed.
Right.
And it's I wear glasses, so it's 4 eyes that they're getting. So an extra pair of eyes doesn't hurt.
That was a
So
good
your
one.
job is to
So-
catch anything that's missing.
Yes.
And there's
you're
always, right?
Yeah, there's always something.
Yeah,
missing.
and I would
And
say
that could be an agent. It could be the
Exactly.
buyer. It could be anybody, right?
anyone, even myself.
Yeah.
I don't toot my horn, but I would say 9 out of 10, I've done pretty good.
So you're saying 200 to 300 pages for a co-op package.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So
for buyers, I guess, for buyers, you are their personal assistant, their right-hand man, just like their loan officer might have a loan processor, just like their attorney might have a paralegal, their agent has Anna. So that's your team. And so you have someone in the office all the time that you can get an answer, right? If you can't reach your agent, you have Anna.
Yeah.
If you need an answer, Anna can jump on it. And that's what it is. It becomes the power of numbers, right?
And
Yeah.
it's like I tell my, sellers, buyers, I'm their personal assistant.
Yeah.
And that's how I introduce myself. You need anything, call me, text me anytime. If I
Yeah.
don't answer, it's because one of the 5 kids are going crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm here. So.
And you're also a licensed realtor as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a good time to jump in and address something that probably people who maybe are not familiar with teams.
Wait. But we only address buyer side.
Yeah, how about
I
Oh,
would
how
like
about
for
the
the
sales- oh,
I would
yeah.
like for our listeners to hear what it looks like when your listing manager hat is on.
Oh,
What
yeah.
does that
What-
look like?
What do you do for home sellers?
So for our sellers, I am holding their hand the minute they sign contracts with any of my agents. So it's from the very beginning of hitting live on the MLS. They have me, and they have me to schedule showings. They have me to give them the feedback. They have me, to give them any market updates or, anything
You do the
pertaining.
marketing.
Yeah, the marketing for the property.
You make sure that
Fluffing those pictures.
something that Anna does, she touches up photos if she needs
Yeah.
to. When she actually uploads it, she goes in a few days later once it's syndicated and makes sure that everything is showing up properly because Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, they're infamous for syncing up the wrong data.
Yeah.
And you could be selling a multifamily and it's showing up as an apartment on
Yes.
Trulia.
Yeah, 100%.
Or, an apartment that's showing up as a house, and that kills your views. You miss out on a lot of buyers. So Anna makes sure the syndication is happening properly. She's sending all of our clients the views every week. How many views are we getting on the virtual tour on every website? How many people are
saves.
saving it? That's all. I mean, if you asked one of us to do all that, it's
a lot.
That's a lot of work.
It is a
Step
lot.
on my toes.
And I would like to say, I mean, for those listeners is that it definitely is a lot of work. But one of the things that we knew since the very beginning in creating our team structure is that systems were absolutely it's crucial. Creating these systems and balances checklists so that way we can ensure that all of these things are done and done properly
And
through our
Yeah.
experience.
Well,
right?
that's kind of what I wanted to jump into here
Okay.
because I can bet that a lot of people are listening to this or watching this on YouTube, hearing everything that Anna does, and they're going, "Okay, well, if she's doing all that, then what
What's
are
my
what are
agent?
the agents doing, and what is my agent doing?"
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good question.
So, for people for whom the team concept is unfamiliar, one of the things to realize is. I use this analogy a lot, that it's a lot like when you go to a restaurant or a doctor's office, the doctor has a receptionist, has nurses, and then what they do is they give you their expertise, their medical
That's-
opinion,
yeah.
right? To give you a diagnosis or whatever, if you're not feeling well or if you need a checkup.
Yep.
And then they have their staff that handles the rest,
Yes.
So similarly, if I'm, in this analogy, if I'm the doctor, I'm meeting with the seller and I'm saying, here is your situation, and this is what we need to do.
Yep.
I'll have Anna make sure that all of this gets done. Or if you use the restaurant analogy, you don't expect the chef to greet you at the door, seat you at the table, take the order, go back and cook the meal, come
Yeah.
back and give you all the service and open your wine.
Yeah.
So what does the agent do? So I'm meeting with a seller. 80% of my business is with sellers. And I'm giving you a market analysis using my expertise to tell you, okay, here is what we should do strategically to get your house sold. Here's what the value, here's what it's going to appraise at, roughly. Here's where I think we should be pricing. Here's the way that we're going to handle the marketing, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm handling that consultation and that customer service side of it. And I'm not having to worry about doing a 300-page co-op package.
Yes.
So I can focus on communicating with, you, Mr. John Smith seller,
Yes.
or I can focus on, you, Abigail Herrera buyer, to give you the service that you need and make sure that I have somebody backing me up so that things don't get dropped and things don't fall through the cracks.
Yes.
If I'm a solo agent and I'm having to run my business and do all this paperwork and service my clients,
I think
talk
it's,
about overwhelming.
Yeah, if you're a brand new agent or don't have that many clients, then it's not too bad to be a solo agent. You can manage it. But if you become a good agent or if you're an experienced agent with a proven track record, chances are that you do a lot of business and then you get so busy that you're meeting with sellers, meeting with buyers, dealing with transactions, appraisals, inspections,
Marketing.
negotiating, marketing. You're doing so many things that it's almost impossible to provide high level service at once you start getting really busy.
Yeah.
But I know some buyers and sellers might say, I don't want to work with a team. I want to work with just one agent. So what do you guys say about that? What do you think about people who just want to work with one person? I don't want to be talking to multiple people. I just want one agent, just like some people want one attorney and they don't want to deal with a paralegal. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, personally for me, I understand why people get concerned about wanting to work with a team, but that just means that expectations were not explained well at a consultation and explaining the team dynamic. Because if the team dynamic is explained well, then they wouldn't want to just work with one person. They
Yeah.
want the team dynamic, because
Absolutely.
anyone that's working with a successful team that has a proven track record, that means that they've worked with hundreds of transactions. They have way more experience than a solo agent does, and they can consult much better than a solo agent that doesn't have the team support. And if there's any challenges, you have your team support to consult with as well and offer additional experience. I mean, look, 7 agents. How much experience do we have in totality? I mean, that's a lot of experience,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Especially the amount of time that we've been in the business, helping seller clients and buyer clients. I mean, over 300 just Anna alone. That's even when
Yeah.
she came on the team. We're in
Yeah.
the business much longer than that. Imagine that added. So, in my opinion, experience is what's very important to make sure that we're guiding the client or customers, that's potential client, well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think, I'm going to echo that. I think that the concern that people have when they hear team and they want to just deal with one agent that is going to handle everything, really, it's not about the one agent, it's about the service.
Yes.
They're worried about the
Yes.
continuity of service.
Sure.
Yes.
And having come from a restaurant background, you see this all the time. When, the shift is changing or somebody's getting cut and gets to go home, the big concern of a diner, especially in fine dining where I used to work, was, is that service going to be continuous, and am I going to have continuity of service so that things don't, fall through the cracks?
Yes.
That's what's important. I think if you can address that, and you can make people feel comfortable and let them see, you have transparency and you can demonstrate to people, this is how this is going to be taken care of. You're not going to be forgotten. Just because you're talking to 3 or 4 people doesn't mean that the third person isn't going to know everything about your transaction the same way that the first person did.
So that almost, I guess, a good tip for any home buyer or seller, if they are interviewing an agent that's part of a team or has a team, would be how many transactions has your transaction manager closed?
Yeah.
How many listings has your listing manager managed?
How
so
does
you
the
want to know.
communication handled?
Yeah.
How do you guys talk to each other on the team?
Yeah. Ask more, dig deeper, because
Yeah.
if they, how long has your listing manager or your transaction manager been working with you? Because if they just started this year, maybe that's not going to be the most pleasant experience because they might not have that much experience.
Yeah.
So
And-
maybe dig a little deeper, even if you're interviewing a team, about the track record of the team members.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I think that's
the
important.
reputation is very important, because let's just talk about our team, Queens Home Team. If you find our team's information online, Google our team's name, we have a wealth of positive reviews, and we can't control what Google's posting. Those are actually real clients that we've worked with.
And
Yeah.
Anna's name is mentioned in there
Everywhere.
All the time.
And the good thing about our team, as you mentioned earlier, Daniel, is that not every team structure is the same. So if you are interviewing agents, which we always encourage anyway, if you're interviewing agents, you want to understand what do each team members do? Do your due diligence in researching the team and see. Everybody's
Yeah.
posting their experience online anyway,
Yeah.
so you can find it. And the good thing about our team is that we are all very in sync,
Yes.
and we know that service is first always.
Yeah.
And
For
I've had, we've had clients that said, oh, I only want to talk to Abby. I only want to talk to, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I think when they come out of it, they're like, oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
it was good working with the Queens Home Team, you know? So we accept it, yes. But at the end, it's like, they love us.
We can accommodate.
Yeah.
Anyone. Yeah. Okay. So, what do you guys say? What do you think are the key takeaways here? And what should buyers and sellers know when they're looking to hire an agent or a team? What are bits of advice that you would give to any potential home buyer or potential home seller? What would you advise them?
Do your due diligence in researching the company that you're hiring. I think that's just standard in any type of business you're looking to hire, whether it's a financial advisor, a lawyer, a bank, loan officer with a bank. You make sure you understand their products. You just have to do your due diligence. And in the end, you want to see who is the best fit for you, that offers the best type of service and programs available for you. And make sure that they're consulting. They're not selling you. They're consulting you on
Yeah.
what what options
So
make
important.
sense, because many times we talk to home buyers or home sellers and maybe it's not even the right time for them, but then you help them and prepare a plan for them. So that's how our team operates, and it works, and people are more appreciative of that style.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
think, I think ask questions. Always ask questions. You know, how are things handled? Who does what? If you can get a direct, specific answer to that, then that's a good sign that a team has these roles ironed out so that everybody knows exactly what is supposed to happen and who's supposed to handle what. And that handles that that in and of itself should handle a lot of the fears that somebody might have dealing with a team in terms of continuity of service.
That's true.
But always remember that, you know, multiple people can handle all of the work much easier than one person on their own can. But yeah, just ask questions, be specific, ask about systems, make that person prove to you that they have the systems and the knowledge in place and the clarity in place to get you the service that you want.
Yes.
Through
yeah.
questions.
Through questions.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. Anna, what would you give? What kind of advice would you give to potential home buyers and sellers?
And you can give good points because you're a home buyer right now.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I love my team. It's yes, digging deeper, but it's also ask that person or that listing agent or that buyer's agent, who do you know? You know, who's gonna help me on your team?
Good one.
Because it's just not. It doesn't stop at the listing agent or buyer's agent or, you know, me, the listing or transaction manager. It's even more than that, you know. And if we could be a one-stop shop, which we are, that's amazing. And that's, I think, a service we give our sellers and buyers.
Could you
Yeah.
elaborate just a bit further? You're also talking about partners we work with, right?
Yes, like
So,
lenders, plumbers, painters, cleaners. I think we have it all under
And-
our sleeves.
Yeah.
Why do you think that we have? I just want the listeners to
Both,
understand a little bit more. Like, how do you feel comfortable with the people that we refer? Why?
Because we've used them personally.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like we
Yeah.
wouldn't refer anyone that we haven't used or that hasn't come into our
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
home.
And so
yeah.
I would, like, for me, I think one thing that whether you're looking to buy or sell and you're interviewing agents or teams, one thing you should know that might be a misconception is that the brokerage doesn't matter.
That's a very good point.
It does not matter whether they're with Keller Williams, Remax, Compass. I mean, the brand of the company, it really just does not matter. The agent you're hiring is what matters and their experience. So that's one. I would say no matter whether you hire a solo agent or a team, you want an expert. You
Yes.
need a market expert. And if you're not wowed when you speak to the agent you're interviewing, then they're probably not the right agent. You should be wowed when you talk to a real estate expert. You're going to learn some things that you had no idea about. And so that, I think, makes sure whoever you're hiring is an expert. They should be an expert negotiator. You know, ask them, how many deals have you done and what kind of negotiating tactics do you use? We actually had someone ask us about this recently. Just what type of negotiation strategies do you use? But get an idea of, are they a good negotiator, right? And the last thing I would say is the resource. You want your agent, a really good agent, has a lot of resources, and they might have lenders for you, inspectors, title companies. So a good, and even after you close, they'll still be a good resource for you. So I would say look into all that stuff.
And I want to say regarding resources, and the resources that we use, they don't look out for our interests, meaning our team is all individual agents. They look out always for the client's interest. And we've seen that with the resources that we use, and that's the reason why we use them, because
Yeah.
they're always supposed to be protecting the client's interests, but be able to help both buyer and seller resolve issues, whether it's a lender or a painter, whatever the case may be. Make sure that they're understanding and offering the same type of service that we offer to the client that makes sense for them, not themselves
Yeah.
or not the team. It's always about the seller or the buyer.
And sometimes they even ask us, they want to give us a referral fee for everyone. We tell them, we don't need a referral fee. Just pass that discount on to whoever we're
Yeah.
referring to you. You know, give them good service.
And the
That's
nice
what
thing
matters.
about being a team is that having 7 people interact with different vendors, we have 7 times more exposure
That's true.
to outside vendors than a
Yeah.
solo agent would. So
That's
we
so
really
true.
understand who is good to work with and
Yep.
get a lot of exposure that way. But I think it's been really, really great episode. It's been nice to have Anna here.
Yeah. Hey,
Yay.
Anna.
My
Hey,
sister from
Anna.
another mother, we like to call each other.
Awesome. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you learned something good today about teams and solo agents. Hopefully you got some insight. If you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to us. How can people get in touch with us, guys? What's our website?
Well, if you're watching on YouTube, all of our contact stuff is going to be in the description
That's
below.
right.
So check that out. And we are at www.queenshometeam.com.
Very easy.
So you can look at us up there, and you
That's
can
it.
always email any of us, first name, Anna, Daniel, Abigail, or George, at queenshometeam.com.
That's right.
Yeah,
And Dan,
before we
Dan,
close, I mean, if anyone's listening that is starting their team, I am more than happy to speak to their listening and
Oh,
transaction
yeah.
coordinator.
Oh,
I
look at
mean,
that.
I look out for my peoples.
Hey, in
Oh.
case there might be some agents listening, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Nice.
true.
If you need help, we're KW. So our culture is a culture of sharing. So
Yes.
definitely, if you ever have questions, building a team, reach out to us anytime. All right. So thanks for tuning in,
Thank
guys.
you.
Make sure you subscribe.
Absolutely.
And, right. If you're on YouTube, hit the bell. Right.
That's
there.
right. Hit the bell, and
Like
you'll
my
get
kids will say,
notifications
"Hit
of
the
all
like
our new
button."
videos. Hit the like button. Actually, that's a really important one, guys. We're really trying to grow the channel.
Yes.
And the little thumbs up, you might think that it's just a little thumbs up, but it's actually how YouTube
Ranks, right?
ranks their algorithms.
Yeah.
So we really want to grow the channel. So your thumbs up really help us to grow the channel and help more people. And that's really important. But yeah, give it a thumbs up.
up.
You know,
Give it a rating on.
subscribe, you know, hit the bell, and definitely give
Yes.
it a rating on
Yeah.
on all the.
Nice.
All right. Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank
Take
you.
care.